also a lot of people traveling to this weekend. It's a long weekend, so but still you all have come. It's wonderful, encouraging, and the others will catch up probably better things, and then they will join next time. So let's begin with short prayers. You try to repeat after me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Again, welcome you all. This is our, I believe in the sequence, this is third session actually. Last time we had a little tangential different discussion because of the Shera. And today we are coming back to our regular course, which is Discover Yourself course. And today we are starting the second session in line of that. So the title of this session is Discover Ultimate Genius, the mastermind behind the mysterious universe. So before we discuss this, in the last session we discussed about our identity, discovering who we are actually. So what is the answer? Yes. We are the spirit soul or Atma, which is part and parcel of God. So we had elaborate discussions about it, right? So should I recap a little? How many of you were there for the last, not last to last week actually, when we discussed that? Okay, most of you are there, okay. Should we recap? Yes. Oh, that will take time. Fine. Do you remember what are the different scientific proofs of soul's existence? What we saw as the proof, scientific logical proof. Reincarnation, memories, some children remembering past life memories, okay, that's one. Anything else? Near-death experience, and someone able to perceive as if he is out of the body. It is also called as out-of-body experience, remember? Yeah, very good, thank you. Anything else? Are you able to remember something, or was it last life? Just 2 weekends before. Not from the last life, I am not asking. Okay, there was something also called phobias. We discussed, sometimes people have phobia, no explanation unless we know that there is soul and there are multiple births we take. Um, and there was some common sense logic also, right? How do we speak? Wo chal base, he is no more. That shows that we are talking about, in something beyond the body. Also, I told you about one consciousness mystery. You know, what is really consciousness? That is not yet really understood. Why? Because consciousness comes from soul, not from body. There is no material. What is the chemical which gives consciousness? There is no answer. That is coming from soul. That is also proof of soul. No machine can have consciousness. You remember? Consciousness means, what is a simple definition of consciousness? What do you call conscious and non-conscious? Is this chair conscious? No, non-conscious. Am I conscious? Yes. So what is the difference? Huh? How do you correct? How do you say that in different way? Thinking. Thinking ability is one difference. What else? Feelings. Feelings and willing. Willing means ability to be determined to do something. Willing. So thinking, feeling, willing. These three are the characteristic of consciousness. Non-conscious things do not have these three things. Conscious beings have it. So what is conscious? When soul is there, consciousness is there. Okay, so these are, again, I will not go to the entire discussion, brief. What are the coverings on the soul? What are the two coverings on the soul? What are the two kinds of bodies called as? The soul is what we are, and we are covered by two kinds of bodies. So who remembers we discussed this? Body is correct, but body also has two types. We saw that last time. Okay, so one body. Anyone want to try? No. Very good. Yes. Yeah, tell confidently. Sukshma Sharir and Sthula Sharir. Very good. That's the Sanskrit word. In English, we call it subtle body and gross body. This body which we are able to see and touch and experience, this is gross body. Gross. This is made up of 5 elements. What are those 5 elements? Very good. Water, air, earth, fire, and ether. Ether means vacuum. So this is this body. And there is also another which we can't see. It's subtle. Subtle means something you can't see or you can't touch. It's subtle. That is called subtle body. That is also sukshma there. That is made up of 3 things: mind, intelligence, and ego. Mana, buddhi, ahankar. So these are two coverings. Now what happens at death? What is death? What is called as death? What soul lives with? Soul lives which body? Gross body. Gross body remains, subtle body goes with the soul to the next gross body. That is called as death and birth. Subtle body goes with the soul. Gross body remains. That is what we burn or bury or whatever. But subtle body goes with the soul. That is called death. Okay, so I think we have recapped most important points of the last session. And then we also spoke in the last session about mind and intelligence tug of war. How to control mind? By strengthening intelligence. If intelligence is good and powerful, it will control mind. And if intelligence is weak, then mind will overpower intelligence and one may do some wrong activities, right? Uncontrolled mind. Okay, so I hope this is good enough. Now we will get into the session. Any questions you want to ask for the previous, something you later had a doubt or you wanted to ask? I'm okay to quickly answer a few things. Okay, good. So let's begin. And you can anytime ask questions, that's not a problem. Now let's come to the second session. Now we are going to talk about the ultimate genius. So just like there is a soul in the body, our body, we have soul. We are soul rather, which is animating this body, which is giving consciousness. All okay with English, na? Sorry for asking it. All English. Okay. Similarly, is there a soul of this entire universe? Is there something called God, Ishvara? Now you may say, sir, we have come here, temple, what are you asking? God is there. That's why we have come. All of you believe in God? Yes? No, this side. They are doubtful. Some are doubtful. Yes, sir. You believe? Okay, I will tell you a nice story. एक बार एक ऋषि था, sage. He used to stay on a hill, and near the near the what you call foothill, there was a village, and this sage would stay in one cave whole year. He was a tapasvi, and all these villagers, they would wait for this sage, this saint to come down and give some pravachan, give some enlightenment. So only one day in a year he would come. The rest of the year he would be there only on the top in the cave. So once that day came when he came down, so all of them requested, Maharaj, please enlighten us, give some knowledge, speak something to us. So then he said, he didn't want. So he said, okay, okay, all of you sit. First he asked question, how many of you believe in God? Everyone raised hand. They thought, Are, Sadhu is speaking some Maharaj. He said, oh, all of you believe in God, then what should I speak? I don't have to speak. You are anyways devotees of God. He said, I don't have to speak. He went back. Then they said, oh my God. Then 1 year passed. Next year again he came. Then all of them had decided, this time nobody will raise a hand. So the sage came, they again requested, please speak something, please enlighten us. The sage asked, how many of you believe in God? What happened? No one raised hand. Then the sage said, anyways, none of you believe in God. What should I speak? I don't want to speak anything. What should I speak to you? You are non-believers. He went back. Then they said, my God, what to do? This person is not speaking. Then again, third year he came. So they had made a plan. They said, half will raise hand and half will not raise hand. Right? Half of the Janta will raise, half will not raise. So again the sage came. Then he asked, how many of you believe in God? Half people raised hand, half did not raise. He said, those who believe, they can give lecture to those who don't believe. Why should I speak? And he went back. So now anyways you all believe. So what is the point of discussion today? I should also follow that sage, right? Okay. So it is just little fun. But we are going to do. But you may say, why? We all believe, then why are you telling us about God exists or not? If I ask you, can you prove that God exists? Sometimes nowadays, scientific, community, so called. Most of you from scientific, science education background, right? IT or whatever. So sometimes when we study this modern science, we are made to believe as if God, we don't need God. We can explain everything. We can do. We are sometimes modern so-called scientists. They think we are better than God, right? And sometimes some people argue, where is God? If God is there, why so much evil? If God is there, why there are so many problems? Where is God? Whether He is created and He is dead, whether He's taken retirement, what has happened? If He's there, why can't I see Him? So many questions, logical questions people have. So we are going to go a little deeper into it. We may have belief because family, parents ne bola ye wo, but we don't have the logical and very scientific understanding of God's existence. And that's why sometimes when we talk and somebody argues with us, then we don't know how to speak. Right? You may have some friend or some relative who be atheist. Atheist means Nastik. Bhagwan mein jo vishwas nahi karte. Do you have faith that you can sit and prove them that God exists? Today, when we discuss, you can do that. So we are going to see scientifically. We are not going to tell गीता में लिखा है भगवान है इसलिए भगवान है. नहीं नहीं, वो बोलेंगे अरे गीता को मैं बिलीव नहीं करता. ठीक है, science you believe? You believe in modern science? Will prove from science God exists. ठीक है? And this logic is given in Bhagavad Gita only by Lord Shri Krishna. That's the point today. Interested to discuss? Yes. So let's go ahead. So if we look at this world, there is a term for this creation called as cosmos. Have you heard cosmology? Right? So that word has come from cosmos. You know the dictionary meaning of this word cosmos? What is the meaning of cosmos? Okay, cosmos means a very systematic, orderly universe. Sometimes people feel cosmology means science of universe. I mean, study of universe. That's correct. But that universe, the word cosmos means a systematic, orderly universe. When we look at this world around, everything is governed with some laws. Every natural, you say scientific. What do we study in science? All of you science background, 10th tak science sabne padha hai. So we studied Newton's law. किस किस का लॉ पढ़ा आपने? केपलर्स लॉ, Faraday's law, और बताओ. So many laws in science. Now who discovered those laws? The scientist. Newton का law है, right? Every action has equal and opposite reaction. Third law of motion. You know, right? Or gravitation. You throw thing, it comes down, gravitational force, Newton found out. So this law was probably discovered by Newton, but who made the law? For just a simple example, let's say you walk on the road. If you are walking, which side of the road you should walk? Left side in India. In America? Opposite, right side. This is a law of a country. Who has made the law? Automatic? Government. Sometime some government has made the law. Right? So, when we have some laws in this world, there is a lawmaker behind it. Is there a law in this world? I'm talking about day-to-day life. Any law which is not made by anybody. Doesn't exist. We always like any example for the you're going in a traffic. You see red light. That means what? Stop. You see green light means go. This is a law. Who has made it? Traffic department. Some people. Somebody has made or not? Yes. Any law. Now, when we see this world, and as you just now said, the world is governed by laws. Science is discovering those laws. That's okay. Who has made those laws? By chance? See, I hope you're trying to understand what it's a very systematic creation, right? You have seen, we have studied the laws of motion, laws of electrons. Every electron in every, atom, all over the universe, follow certain law. You have those equations and all, right? You must have studied in science. Now think about it. It's not that any random things happen. Whatever experiment you do in India and America, you will find the same result. That's science. But how are they following same thing? Are you getting my point? This is simple thing to understand. That this world actually is not random. Right now you can calculate after 15 years from today, what time sun will rise, what time moon will rise. Yes sir, am I right or wrong? You can know. 100 years का आपको सब पता चल सकता है.
Then how is sun so precise? Tomorrow morning, shall forget about 100. Tomorrow morning, what time sun is going to rise? Immediately you can find in calendar. Correct? Any day it happens that sun forgot, अरे आज कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया, sun आया ही नहीं, or it became late, it didn't happen. No. Then how are these things happening so precisely? Is there no intelligence required? Is there no control required for this? Yes or no? What do you think logically? All are इंग्लिश समझ रहे हैं? आई आज बिफोर सब लोग ऐसे देख के क्या बोल समझ गए ना what do you think is there intelligence required for this governance or no yes that intelligence is whose intelligence hmm? Bill Gates Narendra Modi definitely not Donald Trump because I don't know whether he has so. Who's in control who is controlling sun who is controlling moon who has made this design and I am going to show you such examples in this today's presentation you will be shocked how precise how orderly is this universe who has done it that's the question I am just simply leaving you with that question after going this through this presentation also if you think yeah by chance hua hoga that's your call okay so now let's get into it so today we are going to see these things we are just going to see the observation I'm going to cite scientific things. Nothing is all scientific facts, right? What we are going to see today. Observing the world around us scientifically, we can see the hand of supreme intelligent designer. So these are the topics. We'll come to them one on one. So when we see this world, we get this question: does God exist? Some people ask this question. So I'm giving multiple arguments today. You just let's go one by one. So harmonious and orderly universe is cosmology. Who creates and maintains this beautiful and harmonious universe? Let's see. Our these are the observations that we are going to do today. So let's start with the first one. Art implies artist. You know these famous paintings. The first one at least is known to everyone. What is that painting? So who is the painter? Leonardo da Vinci. Then there are other paintings. I also don't know. There are different painters who have painted them. Now, what about this? These are not paintings, these are actual photographs. Now, any art in this world needs an artist, right? Any art. Here we have some nice pictures of Lord Sri Krishna. Somebody has painted any artistic thing. What about the nature? Is nature beautiful? When you go to serene, nice forest and mountains, you see what a beautiful picturesque sight. You said. Now, who has painted that picture? Who is the artist? Can art exist without artist? Right? If I give you, uh, here uh, some paper and pen, what do you call it when you make those things out of paper? Huh? Art and craft. There's another name. Origami. Okay, origami. So you make a nice, flower out of it. Right here, you see these flowers. I can. So they are artificial, right? And then there are also natural flowers. So if I give you this flower, show you this flower, you may ask who has made this? Somebody has made this flower, artificial flower. What about the natural flowers? You say, oh, no, this doesn't need any creator, doesn't need any artist. Although natural flower is hundreds of times more complicated than the artificial flower. Artificial flower doesn't have smell. Natural flowers, so many flowers with so many varieties of fragrance. Everything comes from the same soil. How so many varieties of fragrances are there? So many varieties of textures. Different flowers with different textures, right? So many types of colors. How? This all by chance happened? Or is there some thought? Is there some intelligence required behind this? Right? So art implies artist. Right. Similarly, uh, in this world also we see so much of artistry, so much of beauty. Who is the artist behind it? Next point. Organization implies, sorry, what happened? See, when you see some nice organized thing, like uh, once one teacher took his students, some small kids, to two homes. One home he went, and they all went, and it was very nicely organized and clean, speck and clean, very nicely arranged, everything. Right? The bed was nice, everything was nice. And then he went to the next home. It was all shabby, ugly, everything. There was a lot of dust. The window pans are broken, no light, nothing. Simple question he asked the students. He said, what do you infer? What is the first inference from just going to these two places, two homes? What do you think? Correct. Somebody staying in the first one. Actually, they are there, so somebody is taking care. So it's very neat and clean. But the other one, nobody is staying. Yes, there is no Hare Krishna. So when there is organization means some arrangement. Today you came for the session, it's arranged, right? The chair is there, the table, this. Things are arranged. When you go down now, after some time to the downstairs, you have prasadam, dinner arranged, right? And we are feeling separation from it. Right? We not hungry, not yet. So, so when we have arrangement, that means there is an intelligent organizer. When you came here, is it organized by somebody or not? You may not know who, but someone has done this. Now, if you look at world, is it organized or disorganized? Let's see few examples. I'm going to show you an example of honeybees.
As a community, thousands of female bees, called worker bees, live together in a hive with a queen bee. The queen bee was marked with a red dot, so we can see her better. The worker bees are all females, but they almost never lay eggs. Worker bees do almost all the chores in the hive. They gather pollen or nectar, guard the entrance, clean the hive, build the comb, make honey, tend the queen, and feed the larvae. They even fan the hive with their wings to keep it cool on a hot summer day.
This is a small clip to show how even these bees have such an organization. You heard there is a queen bee, there are different bees who have different work. You may say, where has this intelligence come on the bees? Who has given them? There is an organization, right? It's not that only our big companies have. Even these bees have organizations. How? Okay. Then there is a spider in nature. You know spiders? Let's see something about the spider.
Mathematician spiders. Compared to their own sizes, spiders build very large webs. Indeed, if we enlarged a spider to the size of a human being, the length of the web it weaves would be approximately 150 meters, which corresponds to a 50-story skyscraper. Is it possible for a human being to weave a lacework the size of a 50-story skyscraper in only an hour? But a tiny spider accomplishes much more than that. Moreover, the spider-woven web is the sturdiest material in the world. How do spiders weave these webs possessing miraculous features? The spider takes into consideration many factors while weaving a web hundreds of times larger than its own size. This task demands at least some calculations essential in constructing a building. For the accomplishment of this work, first the spider must draw a project like an architect, for a construction of this size, design, and sturdiness cannot be accomplished without an architectural project. Once the project is drawn, the spider must calculate the lifting capacity of each part of the web like an engineer, otherwise the web cannot remain suspended. In order to design such a web and make such delicate calculations, the spider must be more qualified than a college graduate. Indeed, there is not a university that provides education to the offspring. Following their birth, they begin to produce silk, weave with
Again, the spider is making the web. It is so complex. It's almost like a project for an engineering student. Which college does the spider goes and learns this organization? Where is the intelligence coming from? So any beautiful organization implies organizer, correct, in this world. So there is organization in this creation. Who is organizer? Next point. Likewise, we see many wonderful things created by man. Like we have nice slick cars, someone has manufactured it. Trendy computers, someone assembled. Elegant watches, someone designed. Right? Architecture marvel, someone erected. Skyscraper building, someone built. Some nice sculptures, someone carved. So there is a person behind all this wonderful creation. Now, shouldn't this universe also have a super intelligent creator too? That is a logical question. This is also creation. Any creation without a creator? This computer, someone created. Everything you see here, somebody has created. Whatever creation has a creator. Now the entire creator and the entire creation, who has created? Creation implies creator. I'll tell you a very interesting story from the life of Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. Newton, if you know, was actually a believer of God. He was a theist believer. He was a great scientist, but he believed in God. He was a devotee. And then there was one other friend who was also a scientist, Newton's friend, and he was a non-believer in God. So one day Newton wanted to teach him some lesson. So he did a very interesting thing. Newton ne kya kiya? So this friend was going to come to meet this another friend. So Newton called him to his home, and Newton was not there. He went outside. But what he did, he had a very beautiful replica of solar system. Whatever was known that time, sun and other planets, a nice solar system. This is given in his biography, this incident. So it was a nice simple model with a crankshaft and everything. The planets are revolving, sun revolving, all that's simple but nice. He kept that in the living room, and he left. So the friend came, and he was seeing this model, and he saw it was very beautiful. It's nice, the planet rotating and all that. So he was interested. Then after some time, Newton came. Okay. Then this friend, scientist, he asked Newton, what will be the first question he asked? He said, Newton, this is such a nice model. Who created? Who made this nice model of solar system? Newton said, nobody made this model. There was some wood lying on my terrace. There was some paint in the neighbor's home, and there was some metal on the street. Suddenly in the night there was a bang. Some bang happened, and suddenly all this came together and this was formed. कुछ तो ऐसा धमाका हुआ और ये 3-4 चीजें मिलके ये बन गया. समझ गए? This is what Newton said. So what did the friend said? क्या हो गया? आज क्या खाया? Why are you speaking like this nonsense? How can it happen? Something was lying somewhere and then suddenly something happened, this was created. Arey, someone has to make this, na? Like if you ask me, sir, who made this, beautiful chair? And if I say, some wood was lying and suddenly some dhamaka ho gaya, chair ban gaya. Say, pagal ho gaya? What are you speaking? So this friend said, Arey, the whole world calls you sir, You are a scientist, great person, and how are you speaking this? Then Newton, what he answered was very interesting. He said, my dear friend, if you can't believe that this simple model, the replica of the original solar system, a very simplistic replica, if this cannot come by chance, how do you believe that the actual creation has come by chance without a creator? Which is billions of times more complex than this simple model. How do you say there is no intelligence required? There is no creator required. That creator, that intelligence is what is called as God. Today we are not discussing who is that, what name that God has. No. There is an intelligent creator behind this creation. That's all. That creator is there required or not? Science has this theory called as Big Bang. Have you heard this? What is Big Bang theory? Anyone aware of this? You go and Google it out. They say there is a point, how creation started, how this creation has come. There is a point called singularity. Singularity is a point of infinite density, infinite mass, infinite temperature, zero volume, blah blah blah. I mean, nothing is, doesn't exist something like this. Infinite mass and zero volume and infinite temperature, and that's whatever. And then singularity blasted. There was a bang, यानी blast. वो singularity का blast हो गया, and gradually over billions of times the universe has come into existence. Now, does it sound intellectual, intelligent? Anybody has any experience that some blast happened and creation happened because of blast? First of all, no. Blast means destruction. Okay, even if you accept, where from that singularity came? What is that singularity? वो कैसे आया पहले ये बताओ? No answer to this. How can something, mathematically indescribable, physically inexperienceable, infinite gravity, infinite temperature, zero mass, all these kinds of conditions are put. How such thing can ever exist also? That you can believe. But when we say no, simple logic, a creation implies creator. That means this also should have a creator. No, no, this is unscientific. How can that be unscientific? This is most logical thing to accept. Agree? So any creation implies creator. That's the, okay, next. Now we see, what kind of creation it is. There is a tree called sequoia tree. Sequoia. It is very small seed, some millimeter, like here we have shown. Just 5 millimeter, simple, 1 millimeter, not in 5, 1 millimeter seed, very small. When that tree is planted and it grows, it is world's biggest tree, it becomes. So it is planted and then comes out the tree, which is this big. You see people here, or I can show you another photo. See, this is a man and this is the tree, 84 meters high. This is how vehicles can pass through the tree. The tree's seed is this small, like your, what you call, mustard. That small is the seed. Now, who has put the genetics of that entire tree into that small seed? Nowadays, we are making smaller and smaller chips, and we think now that is very intelligent. We need a lot of intelligence to make smaller and smaller devices. Now, who has put the entire tree into that small seed? Doesn't intelligence required for it? Whose intelligence? Okay, like this sequoia, so you can see how big it is, like almost the size of Statue of Liberty. That big it is. Okay, so designed by Intel. Now what about the human brain? How complex the human brain is. Nowadays we're talking about artificial, but natural intelligence is always superior. Who has designed that natural intelligence? So there is one Dr. Richard Restek, MD, author of The Brain. He says, human brain can store more information than all the libraries in the world combined. That's the capacity of human brain. I don't know whether you have heard we actually use very small part of our human brain, right? That's the research. Human brain has such a capacity. How? Okay, so I have a video on the brain, but um, I think I'll skip this. Time is less. Later I'll send. Let's go down to the micro world. Now the art of scientific thing I'm going to speak. I don't know whether you have remember this lattice structures, or you remember chemistry of your 12th standard or 11th standard. You have studied these different lattice. These are same atom. Let's say carbon. You just change the structure of the cube of the lattice, and then the whole thing is changed. It can become same carbon becomes coal, and the same carbon becomes diamond. Chemically is the same, just the structure is changed. And the thing is, now what is the value of coal versus diamond? Ultimately it's carbon only. Now who has done this structure? There, we might know that okay, there are 14 kinds of structures and all we study in the science, but how precisely this has been done? Why not random? Why not some random thing? It's not random, it's very, very systematic and very structured. So graphite becoming diamond, as always. So meticulous design in the micro world. And what to speak of macro world? Micro means very small, macro means on a big scale. Now satellite. So when we send satellite, humans, scientists send satellites, they have to monitor a lot of parameter, right? So many things. There is a big lab in ISRO or NASA with hundreds of scientists sitting and monitoring so many things to send a small satellite. So much control is required. Now what about the Earth? What about the planets? Earth is 6 into 10 raised to 21 metric tons. It is floating by gravitation. Who is controlling? And then there are so many planets. Now Earth is one of the small planets. You can say the big planets also. And then speed around the sun of Earth is 106,000 kilometer per hour. Do you even feel this? In last 1 hour you are sitting here. We are all sitting for 1 hour here. Sorry, the Earth has come 106,000 kilometers already. Do we feel? How amazing is this creation? Think about it. And so many things. Now so many planets are there. Their orbits. Have you ever heard one planet, by mistake came in between, there was traffic jam, there was collision? कभी नहीं होता ऐसे. Not only sun, you can predict the orbits of all the planets. They run, what do you not run? They move around sun in very particular orbits with particular speeds, everything. So is there, the whole point is, there is such a control, there is such an organization, there is such an intelligence. Now whose intelligence? NASA? Is NASA controlling all the planets? No. ISRO? Then who? Traffic police? Definitely not. Right? So who's controlling? So marvelous designs in the nature. So this video, I want you to pay attention. This is very, very interesting video. So something called as Fibonacci series. Have you heard this Fibonacci? Fibonacci was a scientist. He discovered one mathematical pattern. How many of you come from science background? Until 12th you had science. Okay, most of you. So you'll understand. So this Fibonacci number you have heard, a series, it's such an interesting thing. Now you will be surprised how and where all this Fibonacci is there. So this video is called as Signature of God. Sometimes people say, where is God? Where is God? Show me God. So you may not see a person, but you see his signature at times. Right? So has God made a signature in this world? That is this video. Just watch it with little attention.
Around 1200 AD, a man named Leonard Pisano, better known as Fibonacci, discovered a sequence of numbers that created a very interesting pattern. The sequence begins with the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and continues indefinitely. Each number is obtained by adding the last two digits together. A rectangle with a length and width of any two of the numbers of this sequence forms what is known as the golden rectangle, a perfect rectangle. A golden rectangle can be broken down into squares the size of the next Fibonacci numbers down and below. If we were to take a perfect or golden rectangle, break it down into smaller squares based on Fibonacci's sequence, and divide each with an arc, the patterns begin to take shape. We begin to see Fibonacci's spiral. The spiral in and of itself is insignificant. Its importance is revealed in where we find it. Take, for example, the sunflower. The display of its florets are in perfect spirals of 55, 34, and 21. The sequence of Fibonacci. The fruitlets of the pineapple create the same spiral based on the sequence. The pine cone does the same. As currents move through the ocean and the tide rolls onto the shore, the waves that bring in the tide curve into a spiral that can be mathematically diagrammed onto a plot at the points 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55. Buds on trees, sand dollars, starfish, petals on flowers, and especially the nautilus shell are formed with this exact same blueprint. With each segment of growth, the nautilus adds to itself one more value on Fibonacci's scale. This blueprint can be seen around us on a small scale every day, but the greatest example of all is directly above our heads. At an average of 100,000 light years across, even the spiral of the galaxies above us are formed with the exact design that the tiny shell is formed. This sequence or blueprint appears to be the trademark of a designer, a proof of a creator, something left behind indicating the one who was there, a fingerprint. As we scan our universe from the tiny flower to the awe-inspiring galaxy, we see the fingerprint of God.
Understood? How many of you understood? Please raise your hand. I did not understand. Understood what? So there was this sequence, mathematical sequence. Now, even smallest of things naturally, sunflower and so many examples are given. They are all mathematically that Fibonacci sequence. And even the galaxies, so many things in this world, there. So it appears, it's a trademark, he is saying, this video is saying, or fingerprint of the creator. Otherwise, is this by chance some bang happened and this is how creation happened? Sounds interesting? No? Some bang, and then this is the precise creation which has happened. It doesn't seem possible, right? So design implies designer. Similarly, energy implies energetic. When we see some energy, there is an energetic behind it generally in this. Like for example, if you are in your apartment, you're studying or you're reading something, suddenly one ball comes and crashes and breaks your window. What will be the first question? A ball, right? So who's there behind? Whose ball? Who's playing cricket? Then you will find the person. So that energy has an energetic. Some person has thrown that ball. Now there's so much. So in this world we see there is so much energy. Some facts about sun, if you see here, it's mentioned. I'll not go to the details. It is said energy emitted by sun per second is greater than the energy which is consumed by human race throughout the entire history till now. Understanding what it means? Whatever energy we have consumed till now as a human race, entire human being, 1 second what sun's energy comes out of sun is greater than the entire energy we have consumed. From where has this come? Is this just by chance? Is this just by bang? I said you have to think and you have to decide for yourself. Okay. Again, it's given. In 1 second, our sun produces enough energy to meet the current needs of entire earth for 5 lakh years. Our energy needs it. We say so much energy is required, right? Sun has so much energy. 1 second of energy is equal to 5 lakh years of need of our energy. So who is the designer? Who is the creator behind this? So energy implies energetic. Look at world around. Who made the law? I told you already this. Any law, right? Like India, US, we discussed this already. So who has made, even in cricket, you have laws, right? So many laws in cricket. So who has made it? ICC. Similarly, we have this periodic law. You heard in science, periodic law, Mendeleev's table and all. It's not periodic chance, it's law. Now, if so many laws are there, laws of physics, laws of motions, laws of optics, who has made those laws? From micro world to micro world, all everywhere there are laws. Now, who is the creator? Now, in this world, we see there are some people beautiful, some ugly, some very handsome, some not so handsome, some stinkingly rich, some are born poverty stricken, some become very educated, they have intelligence, some are struggling to maintain their livelihood. Who decides? If everything in this world is governed by law, even the electron, even every atom, planets, everything has law, science teaches us. Now, these things are random, or there is a law for this also. Who gets? Why some people are, you know, handsome, some are not so handsome, some are struggling, some have riches. Why? Is it random? No. There is also a law. Which is the law? Karma. Yes, the law of karma. So we choose our education, job, husband or wife, car, apartment. You can choose it. There are some things in life you cannot choose. Can you tell which one? Correct. Parents, face cut. You may want to look like Shah Rukh Khan, you can't. Or Kareena Kapoor. Or anyone like that. We can't. It's not on our hands. Intelligence, more or less, is beyond, right? It's who chooses then? If we don't choose, then who chooses? On what basis? Is it by chance? If everything is governed by law, then what about this? Right? So many laws are there in this world, well defined. What about this? There is law of karma. कर्मणा दैव नेत्रेण जन्तुर्देहोपपत्तये स्त्रियाः प्रविष्ट उदरं पुंसोरेत कणाश्रयः. Under supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to result of one's work, the soul is awarded a new body. Now we are talking about how the next body with the soul gets. There is a law for it. What you desire and what you deserve. What is your desire? What kind of desires we cultivate and what we deserve. That two D's, desire and deserve, will decide our destination, next body. So this implies lawmaker. There are flawless laws. So now we have seen so many of our observations. There are many scientists. You know, actually, when you go deeper in science, then science actually reveals that there has to be a creator. But those who are on superficial level, they think that, okay, we are only so great, we don't need. Like, for example, here Einstein, he says the Lord God is subtle, but malicious he is not. He was a believer of God. Okay, I'll read some of this, time is less. This is Lord Kelvin. He said, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. Actually, science itself will point out towards God, Kelvin says. I told you the story of. Now, this is Newton. Can someone help me read? Is it possible to read? Someone loudly?
The most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of an intelligent and powerful being. This being governs all things not as the soul of the world, but as Lord over all. And on the account of his dominion, he is to be called Lord God, universal ruler.
Very clearly, he says there has to be a God. And this is from, if you read that last line, this is from the Principia Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. This book written by Newton. He's saying this. The science, the branch of science which Newton started is called as, anybody knows? One of the branches which is called calculus. You know, calculus, this word comes from calculi. Calculi is a Roman word for pebbles. Pebbles means the stones, small stones. So Newton, then somebody asked him, why do you call it calculus? Newton said, actually what we are doing is, we are like small children who are taking some pebbles on the seashore and trying to analyze. Whereas the creator and his creation is so huge. Understood what he says? He says we are like small children trying to just analyze a little part of creation of God. God's intelligence and his creation is beyond our, you know. So we are just finding some pebbles. Pebbles are called calculi. Calculi became calculus. So this is what these great scientists also knew. They always felt in those ages, they felt that what is science? Science is just discovering, you know, the creation of God. We are trying to understand the creation. But gradually, the atheistic science came, saying that God is not required. We know everything. We can discover everything. And that's not the reality, actually. So we'll talk about that in the further sessions. This is Max Born. You can read it actually. Time is almost getting over, so I have to rush ahead. This is Ramanujan. A equation for me has no meaning unless it represents a thought of God. Very profound. So many equations. What is that equation? And all those, everywhere in the world, equation will be followed by, let's say an item, an atom or electron or whatever equation that represent. So that actually is a thought of God. He says very interesting. Like that, we can go on. Actually, you can read it later. I'll show you this, send you this. So all the scientists, they believe in God. Now we have $2 million questions for all of you. Okay, we'll not give you $1 million, sorry, but they are worth $1 million. We don't have ours $1 million, but the answer to that question is very essential. Hare Krishna. I think we have to give $1 million chocolates. Hare Krishna. What are these questions? See here. Okay. Yes, you have to answer this question. We will give you a lot of uh, appreciation. What is, sorry, I should. What is the origin of the universe? Yes? Big Bang? Big Bang? Chance or intelligent design?
Intelligent design.
Sure, lock kiya jaye? All confident? Ribol. Nice, you have got $1 million. Now, if you have understood this, and we agree with this, there is another very important question. What is the purpose? If God has created, for what? There was a Hindi song, I don't know if you Hindi, old Bollywood song, दुनिया बनाने वाले, सुना है ये गाना? काहे को दुनिया बनाई, वही क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं हम आपको. Why has God created this universe? Eat, sleep and marry, make money and pass away, no purpose, to understand God and life. Yes, what do you feel?
To understand God and life.
All for option D? Anybody for A, B, C? All for D? Rocket hai? Let's see. Yes, correct. To understand God and life. Now, I have a question for all of you. If this is the purpose of creation, how much time are we giving for this? How many people are interested in this world for this? To know this. See here, what is the population of Hyderabad? And see how many people are trying to understand God and life. If this is the purpose of creation, actually, God has not created this for this world for, just to eat, sleep, marry. Most of people do that. And how seriously we should take this knowledge. I mean, I congratulate you, whatever. It's not surprising because Lord Krishna says in Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kasyat yatati siddhaya tatamapi siddhanam kashin mam vetti tatvatah. Out of thousands of people, one will be interested to know about the higher truths of life. So you are those one among thousand who are interested. Don't worry if not many people come, because this knowledge is so special, so precious. but we have got it and we should value it. That's the point. Okay, so now further sessions also will discuss about it. Any machine for that matter has a purpose, right? Whatever complicated machine you see, and what about this universe? It also has a purpose, and as we discussed, the purpose is to know God. This I already spoke. Okay, this activity I think will skip. This is what we will now recite the verse. Can you try to recite this verse after me? Mattah parataram nanyat kinchitasti dhananjaya मयि सर्वम idam protam sutre manigana iva. So if you have a necklace, a pearl necklace, huh? So do you see the thread? Yes, in the necklace. I don't have to show, but like I have this mala. Do you see the thread? No, you see the money, the pearls, or whatever you call, right? But is the thread there? How do you know? You are not able to see. Hmm? All the monies are together, all the pearls are together means the thread is there. If the thread is not there, they will all scatter. Lord Krishna is saying, this is Bhagavad Gita verse 7.7. He says, this is how you see me in this world. Me means him, Lord Krishna or God. How do you see him? Like a thread which is governing this universe, which is controlling. We may not see him by our eyes directly, but when we have discussed today, the systematic universe, the complex, harmonious universe, laws are there, creation is. So the point is this called inference, inferential logic. God is not able to see directly, but we can understand from his creation his presence. This is what Lord Krishna says in Gita. He says, unseen is proven by the seen. You don't see him directly, but you can see so many things which prove his existence. That is how at our level we have to understand God. Okay. And then what is our prime duty? With this 2 minutes, I'll stop. So when we understand that there is God and he has created, there is an intelligent creator, then our duty is to use our intelligence to appreciate the creation of God. Whatever life he has given, the intelligence he has given, the creation he has made, it is to appreciate his greatness by our intelligence, to unfold mysteries of God's creation through science to glorify God. Science is not a problem. Sometimes some students ask, "Sorry, are you criticizing science?" No, not at all. We are in favor of science. We are using science and technology. But when science purpose is actually to glorify God, then the science is good. But when the science comes to a point that we don't need God, then that science actually becomes an obstacle for us to understand the purpose of life, to understand and explain the purpose of God's creation, which is love of God and love all. This is our prime duty. And finally, to utilize everything for pleasure of God and welfare of all. So this is why this world is created. So this is in summary. We had seen the observation, artistry implies artist, beautiful organization implies organizer, creation, creator, design. So this is our observation. Then scientist observation, we saw so many scientists, their quotation, $2 million questions, and we answered them nice correctly. Who created universe? What is the purpose? And then with this universal national government, we have not seen. Next time we'll cover. And then our prime duty is to actually use our intelligence to glorify God and use whatever God has given us as the wish of God for his seva. God wants us to be happy and everyone else in this world to be happy. So when we follow his teachings, the whole world can actually be very happy and peaceful. The root cause of all the troubles which are happening in this world, whether individually or collectively, is because we have gone away astray from God's teachings. God is like a loving father and mother who wants all to be happy. But when a child leaves mother and he goes on the road, then he'll cry because he's frightened with so much of problems. He doesn't know what to do. That is our situation. We have left the hand of God and then we are struggling. So when we come back to God, then that will help us. Thank you very much. I end here. Sorry for going a little late. Any questions? We can discuss now and then 5 minutes, and then maybe we can take pause for the dinner. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Was it understandable what we discussed? Do you agree with what we have discussed? If you don't agree, raise your hand and let's launch your protest. We'll discuss that. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Any questions? Feel free to ask. No question is a bad question.
Does the creator maneuver the suffering, or like good or bad, or something happens to people?
Okay, has the creator creating suffering like that?
Yeah, maneuver in the sense like having.
He gives the suffering.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the sun responsible for darkness? I have a question for you.
So,
Is the sun responsible for darkness?
no.
Others? That is the answer. See, in one sense, yes. Another sense, no also. See, if sun is there, darkness is not there. Sun is not there, dark. But similarly, God is all good. But when we turn away from God, then we suffer. So
Which means God does not have a power for maneuvering the people, like going good side or bad side. So it's the people.
Maneuvering is, I'm not. No,
Maneuvering
see,
is
God
just-
has the power, but He doesn't use that. He gives us something called as free will. Okay, so this is a very good question. You will understand it as we go ahead. So God has given minute free will to all of us. Now He has the power to take away that free will. Free will, you understand? Freedom of choice. For example, like Hare Krishna, you have to give. Okay, so you just take him for some time. So free will means a little independence, of freedom. See, when there is love, there needs to be freedom. Say a young man goes to a young girl and he loves, he wants the girl to love him and all, let's say. And then he takes a gun and puts on the head of the girl and say, okay, say no, you love me. Is that girl going to feel happy even if she says, I love you? And is that boy also going to feel happiness? Love means freedom. Voluntarily, if there is love, then it is actually satisfying to heart. Why I'm explaining this? God wants all His children, that is the souls, all of us, to love Him. But that love, if He forces us, if He takes away all our freedom, and then He makes us like robots, He programs us, then there is no fun. Nor will He enjoy, nor will we enjoy. So He gives us freedom. You choose. Some freedom we have. We don't have unlimited freedom. We may think, okay, let me have so much freedom. Whatever I want, I should be able to do. No, that much freedom you don't have. But we have minute freedom. We have choice. What is that choice? Either we can surrender to God or we can not surrender to God. Either we can love God or we don't love God. This choice we have. And God says, if you love me, you are like an obedient child, you are mine, I'll give you everything. You are under my care. But if you tell him, no, I don't want you. I want to be independent. I want to maneuver my own life myself. God says, okay. Why He says okay? Then you are up to it. Why? Because He wants to give us that freedom. If He doesn't give that freedom, you will blame God for being, a very a villain, a cruel controller. So he is not. He has given us freedom. That's why, see, these demons also, Ravan, you heard Hiranyakashipu, you heard big demons. They are also children of God. They are naughty children. They're naughty children. They have decided, they use their free will against God. That is called demon or atheist. But someone who uses his free will to serve God and to love God, then they become obedient children to God. Okay, so this is about free will. Does that answer your question, or was there something? So you said, yeah. Does God not have power to
Does he
give?
have power to, has any power in the role of people suffering or people being happy?
So he has. So what happens? He has power, but he doesn't use that power. He gives us free will, and if we use our free will wrongly, then we suffer. That is our karma. Like your son, right? He's your child. So one way of teaching children at times is to allow some freedom. If the child, wants to put hand in fire, and you try to tell him so many times, don't put hand in fire, don't, it's not good. He'll again and again go there. You know what an intelligent mother may do sometime? In a very simple way, some small fire is there. The mother may allow, okay, put once. And when he gets the burn, now whole life he will not go near fire. This is called giving minute freedom to get experience. Similarly, God also gives us freedom to experience suffering. When we go away from God and then we suffer and then we cry and come back to Him, we will willingly, serve. So He gives us that freedom. He has the power to program us, but He doesn't do that. Okay? So, yeah. Does that answer you?
And
yeah, you continue and then we'll.
one
Yes.
more thing is like, so we as a human being, do we need to please the God?
Absolutely. Not as a human only. All the jivas, the soul, the nature of the soul is to love and serve God. Now, this is something which will come after 2 or 3 sessions. We are going to discuss what is the nature, what is the prime duty of the soul, why, where do we find actual happiness, eternal happiness. We will discuss this elaborately, but that time we will come back to it. But to be precise, yes.
So
Yes.
we, as we discussed, like our main purpose is to understand the God and serve the God. So is there anything apart from that? So like next steps or something, like if somebody have understood or something achieved, after that also it's their purpose?
Then one serves God, and then it is said, then we can be with God forever, like as a family. That is called as liberation.
Nirvana, you mean?
Nirvana, it's called moksha. Nirvana is a different concept. But these are little higher topics that will come in our discussion later. Now, what is moksha? Where do we go? Moksha means what? Where is God? Today we just saw, say, somebody called God, something. Now, where is that God? What is my relation with God? What does He want from me? What can I do for Him? What is after this life? We'll discuss. Everything will come.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Yes.
So like one of my friend is non-believer of God. He said, like, I will just say one example and you will know there's no such thing as karma. He said, like, younger girls getting raped, they have nothing to do bad with anything. Small girls, newborn child. How is it even happening? And why is it happening if there is God, if there is karma?
This question shows an ignorance of the cycle of birth and death. So if you look at life from the as only one birth, one life, right? Like I told you about phobias. Now in this life you may not be able to understand why that person has something like this. You have to sometimes look in the previous lives. Okay. So when I'm explaining this, doesn't mean that the law of karma doesn't teaches us to be insensitive to the suffering of anyone. But to understand it, the answer lies in the previous lives. Okay. Um, Sometimes in the villages you might have seen, if you have gone to village, there's something called as, uh, what they call it, some vessel, I forgot the name. The vessel where they store rice. You put it on top, it's like a long cylinder, and from the bottom there is a hole which you can take out. Silo or something they call it, silo or something. So now if you say there's a big vessel like this, initially you put bad quality rice, say 1/3. Then you put medium quality rice. And then you put very good quality rice. Like this, big one. And then you start taking out from bottom, from that hole. What will come first? Huh? Bad quality rice. Agree? What is understood what I'm saying? Now you may say, Arey, but I just put very good quality rice in this. But sir, madam, you just put it, but you put bad quality before. Now that is coming.
But that child
Okay.
doesn't know about that, right? That child have no clue what is happening. The family doesn't know what they did wrong.
Okay, so there is something called, now this elaborate discussion again we'll do later. This is called as delayed karma. As we know, as I was telling last time, there is mind and there is subconscious mind. The impressions are stored in subconscious mind. Sometimes, if let's say a thief comes and steals something here at your home, not here, a thief steals something very valuable, then he runs away, and then he changes his clothes. He was wearing t-shirt and pant, and now he wore kurta pajama, and then police catches him. But he will say, I am not that person, I'm in kurta pajama. What will police say? Are you have changed the dress, but you are the same person. You're supposed to be punished. Are you getting my point? Just by changing the dress, will the punishment not be there for a thief? No. Similarly, this body is just a dress to the soul. The subtle body is the actual culprit, where the mind, intelligence, false ego, where the desires are there. That subtle body goes to the next gross body with the soul. That subtle body is the one which needs reformation. Law of karma is not for punishment. Law of karma is for reformation. Sometimes you have to slap a child, not because you are cruel or you hate the child, but because you want the child to become reformed. Agree? Similarly, God has created some punishment in the form of law of karma so that we reform and become good. If not God conscious, at least become conscious and sensitive to other living beings around you. So now, if someone says, no, I just changed my dress, then that doesn't matter. You inside are the same person. So that, as you're saying, the child in this life might not have committed, but that child is not child actually. He was an 80-year-old man just few years back who has created some crime. And internally the subtle body is the same. So now when he goes through some suffering, that internal subtle body is reformed. That is how law of karma works. Did you get the point I'm trying to convey? Now you may say, but why not immediately give? It's actually a little intricate, law of karma. Lord Krishna in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, Gahana karmano gati. Gahan hai bahut. Gahan means intricate. Sometimes to get a punishment, you have to have a situation which needs a lot of good karma. It's very complex. You know how? I'll give example from Mahabharata. You know this Dhritarashtra, the father of Kauravas. After the Kurukshetra war, Dhritarashtra is asking Vyasadev. He asked Vyasadev, why I had to suffer this 100 my sons dying? It's a pain for him also, right? Vyasadev told him, 50 lifetimes back ago, you had killed 100 children of a person, and that reaction was there waiting. You had to suffer. Then he said, okay, but then why 50 lifetimes? If it happened 50 lifetimes before, why I had to suffer now? Then Vyasadeva told him, to get 100 sons, you need a lot of punya. And you needed 50 lifetime to earn that much punya. So something happened 51st life, and then 50 life you earned the punya for it, good karma. Then you got 100 sons, and then that reaction came and they were killed. So now you may say, my God, then what do I do? Simple. Make it simple. Don't worry so much about it. It's like if you got malaria, you go to doctor. Doctor will say test and say, oh, it's malaria. And then the patient says, no, no, doctor, tell me which is that mosquito and what time and where he bite. The doctor will say, hey, wait. I can't tell you all that. Take this medicine. That is most intelligent. Now take the medicine and get cured. Similarly, we can't really figure out why, what is happening with me exactly, कब हुआ था, कौन से lifetime में हुआ था, कैसे हुआ था. Very tough to figure it out. It's a complex situation. But very sure it is our own karma. इतना clear है. वो mosquito आपको ही bite किया. It is very sure. Where, when, how, we don't know. So then what is the solution? Take the medicine and get cured. Similarly, our scripture says, take the medicine of chanting the holy names of God, spiritual practice, surrender to God. All that we are going to discuss in future sessions. And get cured of this material disease of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Again and again birth and again death. अभी उसको हम लोग figure out करेंगे ना कि क्यों, that's very tough. It's not a simple equation. It's very complex. Okay? Yeah. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we stop here. You all please take dinner. Thank you for coming and encouraging us in spite of now this holiday time. You all coming regularly, you are coming. I'm very, very thankful. Personally, I feel very inspired and encouraged. And I'm grateful to all of you. Please keep on coming. And it's just the beginning. I can tell you still a lot of things. All your questions are actually in the right direction. All your questions are, this is how so logical it is. You are actually asking questions which will be answered in the future sessions. Means we are going on the right track actually. You now, so the further you come, all your queries will be answered. And I request all those who are watching online and they are not here, please also do join us next time. The recording will be shared. Only this week we are sharing recording. Next week we will not share. We want everyone to come here. So please do come and we will continue this discussion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Now we can do it personally, sir. Others can please proceed. It's late. Some of them have to. I am available. You can always come and meet me now.